fun times.
Well, she was still compos mentis.
Barely.
Barely.
Welcome to the Secretary Cottage, and in today's video I'm going to give a full update on our kitchen renovation from start to where we are today. So we're starting this video from the very beginning when we bought our house, and that's my mother. She came over to help, and the first thing we did with the kitchen was clean and pull out all of this old linoleum that had been used to line the inside of the cabinets. The whole house was really filthy, and I took this video to show just how disgusting the kitchen was. So the first job was to scrub it from top to bottom.
Working on the house. It's a total mess. We're still working on the floors.
While my husband was busy working on the floors in the rest of the house, I got to work on the kitchen walls. And I started by applying this beautiful wallpaper, and I put it all around the kitchen on top of the chair rail. I'm really not a fan of the orange toned wood, so I went in, lightly sanded everything, all of the trim. There's Posy. And then I applied a primer and a paint. For all of the trim work in my house, I used Sherwin-Williams Emerald Urethane Trim Enamel. It's a fabulous paint, and the sheen is in a semi-gloss. Honestly, this was a really arduous task. It took me a really long time to complete before I could go on and start painting the cabinets and the ceiling. There's a quick peek at the ceiling. As you can see, it needed a ton of work, and that's coming up soon. So under the chair rail and along the back wall is a fake tile. It's plastic, but until we have time to rip it out, and I would like to actually install beadboard, until we do that, I decided just to clean it and paint it. And it actually turned out a lot better than I expected, and I can paint it different colors, so it's okay for now. For the interior of the cabinets, I just chose a blue paint that I already had on hand, and I used my new Wagner paint sprayer. I thought it was a great idea, and actually it was, until I don't know what happened, but it started leaking, which made kind of a mess. But for a while there, it actually did a great job spraying the inside of the cabinets, which would have been pretty hard for me to do by hand. Although I made a total mess, you can't even see the amount of mess that I made, it was a fantastic feeling just to have clean cabinets. And the next step was to tackle the drawer fronts and the doors. So first I had to clean those, take off the hardware, and sand them back lightly outside. I had originally thought maybe I could sand the cabinets back and stain them, but once I sanded one door back, I realized that the wood just wasn't very pretty, and they would look a lot better painted. So I went in and I chose a really very nice deep blue color, and with my foam roller and the Sherwin-Williams paint, I went over all of the surfaces. The cabinets took 2 coats to completely cover, and they look beautiful. All of the trim work I did by hand, and it was a little tedious, but it wasn't too bad. Here I am with my gloves that I never seem to be able to find a pair, and I am going to scrub that old hardware because I couldn't find new hardware that matched. So scrubbed it and spray painted it, and it was good to go. I ordered new drawer pulls from Etsy, and I was really pleased with them when they came in. They're beautiful. I really think they're high quality, and luckily for me, they actually had them with the right dimensions because I didn't want to have to drill all new holes in the cabinets, so that worked out really well. We then took down the old ceiling fan, and I patched and painted the ceiling that really needed a lot of work. That took an entire day. Our ceiling fan light was always really dim, and it wasn't until we took it out and tried to put the new one up that we realized why. So we called my friend who's an electrician. He had to rewire that part of the kitchen to create enough power for our new ceiling fan, and it's amazing to have bright light in the kitchen finally. This was by far the biggest job of our kitchen renovation, and it was peeling up the old linoleum. It had been adhered to a subfloor. The subfloor had been adhered to the original hardwood floor with glue. This took my husband months and months to refinish. First he had to pop up the old flooring, and then he got as much of the paper backing off of the floor using his Dremel tool. And I don't have any footage of this, but in order to get the glue off, he had to use the respirator. It was a big deal, and melt it basically with a heat gun and scrape it off before he was able to sand the floors. So like I said, huge job, but you'll see at the end it was really worth it. The floors are beautiful. I had first painted the walls of the breakfast nook in beige, but it was kind of boring, and I decided to add green and color drench the room, although I was persuaded not to paint the corner cabinets, which I still believe I'm going to paint, but for now we're leaving it as is. And now I am cleaning the floors because I'm getting them prepped to apply the poly. The first coat of poly is an oil-based polyurethane for floors, and I used a applicator pad. Unfortunately, it just didn't work very well because the pad kept slipping off of the applicator. It was just honestly a mess. So I went in the next day after it dried and I sanded it all, which you're supposed to do. And then the next day I used a brush that screws onto a paint stick, and it is for polyurethane. And this polyurethane is a water-based, which is fine to apply over the oil-based, and the result is beautiful. I bought my table and chairs at an auction a year ago, so I've been waiting forever to pull them out of the garage and put them in the kitchen. They needed a good scrub, but I love how they look, and they're the perfect size for the room. Here is the final result as of today. We still need to replace the countertop. I want to paint the kitchen door green. I still want to do something with the corner cabinets. I'm not sure. I also found this light, and I think I want to replace the ceiling fan with it because it goes so well with the color scheme. So there's the kitchen door on the left that I'm going to paint green. We still need to purchase a new stove and a new refrigerator, and once that's done, we will be set. But we're getting there. It's slowly, and the little panel on the wall is an ironing board, and I'm going to paint that panel white. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will update you all with my decision on the corner cabinets and all the other little bits and pieces that still need to be done to the kitchen and to the cottage in general. I'll give you more updates soon. Thanks for watching.